This is the 2023 Honda CR-V. This is the hybrid sport model we're going to be looking at today. And I'm going to answer the question, is it worth the sticker price of $34,150? I have to admit, we have done a lot of work lately here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel with these Honda CR-Vs, the fully redesigned models for the 2023 model year, but I couldn't help but grab this particular model from inventory with its radiant red exterior color. So let's take a look at exactly what you get for that price. I'm interested to see after the video what all of you have to say down in the comments section. And in case you're curious to know more about this exact CR-V, check out the link down in the description of the video. I borrowed this model from my friends at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Whoever you talk to, tell them that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you if you come into the dealership. Here on the front end, we're going to take a look at the nicely redone LED daytime running lights, a more long, slender look here, not only with the LED daytime running lights, but with the turn signal as well. The LED headlights will accent that nicely, and we're going to have the air curtain right here that allows air to flow through instead of around the front end right here to help improve drag, aerodynamics. Very good on the vehicle. Obviously, this is more focused on hybrid powertrains for 2023 than ever before. That is what we have in this particular case. You can see you have the gloss black grille on the front end, going to have that nice look to it. Now on the lower portion down here with the lower grille and with the front spoiler and everything we have here, all of that is going to be flat black or matte black. So a nice look in that respect. I do think that's better to have down there because it holds up better to debris, damage from rocks and stuff like that, as opposed to the gloss black. We're going to have the 235 on the width here on the front wheel drive. Yes, this is front wheel drive. Originally, the hybrid models of these CR-Vs were supposed to come standard all-wheel drive. Somewhere along the lines, Honda made a change there. 235 on the front tire width, a 60 series sidewall wrapped around a gloss black 18-inch wheel. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. Would you rather see an additional color option, maybe chrome? I don't know. Everyone has their preferences. I'm always curious to know what you think. You don't have power folding side view mirrors. They are manually folding. For most people, I don't think that's a big deal, but sometimes people ask about that. You're gonna have the gloss black mirror caps, but again here on the bottom portion where most of the damage could potentially occur with rocks coming up off the road, it's gonna be matte black. Turn signal indicators built in. They are power adjustable and they are heated. And here's what your remote looks like for 2023. The two main things people tend to ask about if I forget to show it or talk about it: turn signal indicators in the side view mirrors, we know that's there, and remote start. That is something else. Now, to break things up with the combination with your gloss black wheels, you've got the matte black on the trim all around the fenders right there, the fender flares, and then here on the door sills on this lower portion right here. To break that up, we're going to have the chrome surround on the windows. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like that? The roof rails will be up here, body colored shark fin antenna, and the rear roof spoiler to channel the air over the rear window when you're driving down the road to help keep that clean. And here are the LED taillights. I know a lot of people say they look very similar to the previous generation, but if you see that side by side, you know that isn't really true. These do have a different look. In fact, I have a video where I compared the previous generation to the current generation side by side. And then back here on the rear, the exhaust finishers, not exactly active, they're just here for looks, but you can see the tailpipe in there, but it's not connected. But again, I don't think anybody's going to be that terribly worried about it, but a nice overall look. And being that this is the hybrid model, the hybrid sport, a big question: how much gas are you going to save? Let's talk about what's under the hood, and we will answer that question as long as I don't start to sound like Elmer Fudd or Porky Pig or whoever it is. I can't remember. Yeah, it's actually Porky Pig, but you know, some of you may not even know who that is. Just use Google if you don't. Sometimes I just can't get things right on everything. But we'll try to get things right here with what's under the hood. The combination of the 2-liter 4-cylinder and the hybrid powertrain. So what are we looking at numbers-wise? 204 horsepower, 247 pounds-feet of torque. And let me explain something. Somebody asked that I do this in these videos, so there may be other people who want to know, how exactly does this work? Well, you'll notice that there's no charge port anywhere around the vehicle. We've looked at all sides, all corners of the vehicle. There's no charge port here. So this is not a plug-in hybrid. What's going to happen is that when the battery is up to a certain charge capacity, then it will go to full EV mode. When it gets below that capacity, the 4-cylinder engine kicks in and charges things back up. So you're always going to be able to drive down the road no matter what. That is how that works, very simple. How about those all-important MPGs? Let's talk about what they are. 43 city, 36 highway, and 40 combined, 2.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And for those of you who might say, wait a minute, did Honda get those numbers wrong? Isn't the MPG for the highway supposed to be higher than the city? Well, here's why. Because when you're on the highway, you're going to primarily be using the 4-cylinder engine that's under the hood, that 2-cylinder engine. So the numbers will change and not be as good. You'll be able to use the hybrid powertrain more so when you're driving in the city. That's why those numbers are higher. And what about the overall size? What's different about the size of this CR-V? The wheelbase increases by 1.6 inches. And for those who say, Tom, what is the wheelbase? I don't know. It's right here, from the center of one tire to the center of the other tire, or you can go from back to front. No matter what, it's an increase of 1.6 inches. The overall width, which I shouldn't have to tell you is bumper to bumper, has increased by 2.7 inches, and the width itself of the vehicle increases by 0.4 inches. And we'll also take a look here. We looked at it earlier to a degree, but yes, the side view mirrors have been redesigned. You do have a more squared off front end, but not completely squared off. Still has some very nice character lines to it. Tell me what you think about the overall redesign. Do you like this generation or the previous generation more so when it comes to the exterior look? And you can tow up to 1,000 pounds with your CR-V if you so desire to do so. And with the hybrid version, there's going to be some differences. 39.3 to 76.5 cubic feet. The difference is that you would normally have 36.6 up to 39.3 up to 76.5, because on the non-hybrid version, the floor is adjustable. You can actually raise it and lower it to different positions. So just so you know what's there, obviously you can lower these rear seats to maximize cargo capacity. Not difficult to do at all, but for someone who might say, well, why didn't you show us? If I don't, here's how you do it. You just pull up on that release and you lower down the rear seats, fold those flat, and there you go. One other thing I did want to show you here, let's do this, is you can also recline these seats. You can see the difference between what's on the passenger side and what's on the driver's side here as far as where we are looking. Now, one thing that I know a lot of people are going to want to know about, is there a spare tire? Does not come with the vehicle. So just so you know what is and isn't there, you do have the built-in cargo lighting back here. You also have the 12-volt power outlet and quite a bit of space in the interior, not only here for cargo capacity, but also for the driver and the passengers. And we'll take a quick look here at the door panel for the rear doors. When you push down on this a lot of the time with your finger, it doesn't feel like it's very soft, but when you use the arm rest test with your arm, it does change that up a little bit. Makes it feel a lot more comfortable. You can have the contrast stitching here with the black interior. I like that. And if your rear seat passengers forget what they're riding in, there's a CR-V logo right here. You can also put the drinks and the snacks back here. One thing that I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen would be the magic rear seats, kind of like we had in the first generation of the HR-V, but you don't have that here. Maybe that's a hint for the future, right, Honda? And then the rear seat pocket, only one, but you do have the dual air conditioning vents and dual USB ports. There's something else I would like to see car makers start doing, is adding a third USB port, since you have seating for 3 people back here. And You do have what a lot of the times even I myself would call this and others a conventional size sunroof. It's actually a little larger than conventional. It's not panoramic, and I know people have their preferences on that. Which preference is yours? And a quick look at the passenger side door here in the front. You'll see that it does have a larger door bin. So if somebody says, I want the largest door bin possible, but you don't want them driving, well, this is where they need to be, obviously. Well, actually, right here. By the way, you do have a manually adjustable passenger seat, a power adjustable driver's seat. The steering wheel is manually tilt and telescopically adjustable. And then a quick look across the dashboard. You've got your air conditioning vents, non-air conditioning vent area right here, and then air conditioning vents again with the button right there for your hazard lights. And I'll open the glove box up here. No gloves in there, but you do have the wheel lock key within the bag right here. Close that up. If you had wireless charging, it would be located here, not in this case, but you do have the USB connectivity options, a 12 volt, a non-push button shifter, which will make a lot of you happy. Your mode selector, hill descent control, power parking brake, brake hold mode. Boy, that sounds almost like I'm doing this by a cue card or something like that, doesn't it? Again, we're going to have that contrast stitching on the shifter boot right here and the cup holders. Also, a very comfortable armrest. Almost looks like I'm testing for doneness on a steak. We're not going to talk about what that is or what that means in today's video because it's not a cooking video, it's a car review or CRV review. And we have a nice deep center console right there. That definitely helps. Now, one thing I know is not here. What do you think about this? There is no conversation mirror. So I know a lot of people like that. Would you like to see that here? Tell Honda what you think down in the comments section. Obviously, that is the glasses holder, often for sunglasses, but I guess you could put any glasses in there you want to. There's the vanity mirror with the light built into the visor. Let's see how far back that goes. It does go back. You'd have to be sitting way back to have any issues with sunlight once you pull it all the way back. And if you want to exercise that 204 horsepower out on the road and drive spiritedly, here are the oak crap handles. There's one at each door, even on the driver's side, but the driver shouldn't have to reach up for that, I don't think. Boy, if you're doing that, you're a really bad driver. That means you're taking turns too fast. But we're not finished talking about the driver. Let's hop over into the driver's seat and see what they'll find. Well, for starters, they're going to find a few more buttons and switches here. You have the controls for those heated power adjustable side view mirrors right here. Obviously, lock and unlock. You can lock the windows and you can control the windows. A lot of control over your passengers right here. If you're a controlling person, you should be really happy. Like I said, you have a power adjustable driver's seat. Here, there is the lever for controlling the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And if you would like to attempt a 204 horsepower front wheel drive burnout, you can turn traction control off right there or turn it back on, depending on your personal preference. And we'll go ahead and hit the power button right here for the engine. Is that right? A power button, push button start's probably more appropriate. But hey, I have to give you something to make fun of me for down in the comments section. Plus, if anybody says anything, I know you made it to this point in the video. The new digital instrument cluster, you've seen it before on the 11th generation of the Honda Civic. It does look nice. It is very effective. You have your buttons right here to go through all of the different information you might need to on the dashboard right there. Let's go through that and see what we have, if it'll let us do that. There we go. That way you can just see what's there. We're not going to go through and just click on every single one and tell you about everything, but you can see what's there. Obviously, you can control the radio and all its functionality here. You can also control the blinkers right here. It's not very difficult to do, I promise. You can also control the lighting on the outside of the vehicle. Here is everything for your adaptive cruise control, which, by the way, you have adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, all of that good stuff. It's here. Here is the 9-inch touch screen. That flickering, it has to do with not the screen, not with Honda, but with my GoPro, the shutter speed. Never have been able to find a fix for that. I think more of it's due to lighting than anything else, but just so you know, that is not a glitch. It's just what you have here with the way the camera looks. And speaking of that, or with the way my camera makes it look, we should say, let's say that properly. You can see the multi-view rear view camera. and it is very responsive here as far as your different views go. I say that and then I push that and it doesn't work instantly. That's on me, again, not on Honda. You can see right there how quickly that does respond to the touch of my finger. Obviously, you can control everything you need to here. You can pair your phone, very easy to use. You have your dual zone climate control here, something we don't need today, but I'll show you a demonstration. Heated seats for not only driver, but also the passenger over there. And last but not least, before we hop out on the road for our test drive, let's go through our driving modes. So I'm going to go through. You have Sport, and the graphic that comes up behind that. We'll go to Normal. There's the graphic for Normal. And then we'll go to Econ. That's the graphic for Econ. And Snow. You know, I would say if you're going to drive in a lot of snow, you need all-wheel drive, but you do have Snow mode if you need that. And then you have the paddle shifters here that are really not paddle shifters. They're really to adjust the regenerative braking. Okay, I'm going to hop out on the road for our test drive. Comfortable leather-wrapped steering wheel. I like that. That's always a good thing. This is a really great vehicle, even though it's definitely not a subcompact or anything like that. It's still the right size to get around. If you live in a really big city, this is a very agile and nimble vehicle. It has a very tight turning radius for its size. It's easy to get around. So in a situation where maybe you live in an area where it's heavily congested, that makes a big difference. Plenty of space, a very comfortable interior. I would still like to have the opportunity to get out on the road for a nice long road trip, even if it was just a few hours back and forth from where I live to somewhere, but with a press vehicle, that would be useful. Acceleration is good here. If I drop the hammer, we definitely get up to speed without any trouble whatsoever. It's not neck snapping performance or anything like that, but still a lot of fun to drive. It's definitely going to meet your needs as far as getting to and from wherever you need to go. It's going to get up to highway speeds without any trouble. Definitely not a problem whatsoever, and I haven't even changed driving mode, so we'll go into Sport mode as we turn on to another road here. We'll make sure we make the turn correctly, just so that the correction Nazis don't have any ammunition to arm themselves with to complain about anything down in the comments section. Yes, that does happen. People complain about everything. So let's do a little bit more of an acceleration test. Yeah, definitely no problem there, especially in Sport mode. So I'm going to slow back down. And speaking of correction Nazis, I had somebody recently who said, "You talk too much." Well, what am I supposed to do? Be quiet the whole time? This is not an ASMR video, but I will be quiet for a few seconds so you can hear the road noise. I'm doing 55 miles per hour right now. Okay, hopefully that helps to appease anybody who thinks I talk too much and they want to hear what's going on with the vehicle. For those of you mature people, I'm sure it's no big deal regardless, but I do understand partially, on one hand, why somebody would say, yeah, let us hear the road noise and see what it's like. And obviously, well, this is not a bad road. Keep in mind, when it comes to the road noise, for some who might say, well, the road noise does seem to be a bit much within that interior. Well, I don't have the fan speed up, nobody to talk to, the radio's not on, so there are a lot of things that aren't happening here that, well, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to have on this test drive so that the audio is as good as possible for you. But tell me what you think down in the comments about that. That's what the road noise is like. A comfortable interior, plenty of space here. Very easy to learn the technology for those who may be saying to themselves, wow, I've kept my 1990, whatever you have, or maybe even 1985 or older, that does not have a backup camera, which is no big deal. All you do is put it in reverse and look at the screen. Don't have the infotainment screen, don't have the ability to pair my smartphone, any of that kind of stuff. Don't worry, Honda has very easy to use or learn technology. And even though I didn't cover every single nut, bolt, and cranny, I showed you quite a bit here as far as what you get for $34,150 on this 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport. Tell me what you think about that down in the comments. If you plan to buy one of these CR-Vs, what trim level, what exterior color, tell me what the options are that you desire to have. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing or learn about, or whatever the case is, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.